Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Welcome to the Saturday Erudition Network wrap up. Hey, we have not really been doing a wrap up lately. I try to do it by request. If I get some people who say they want to have us do a wrap up on a Saturday, I will come on and for a little bit and have a discussion, and we can talk about the things that we talked about for the week. That's what the wrap up is for, and to give an opportunity for some of you all who have not been able to join us live during the week. It will provide you with the opportunity to chime in and give some questions or opines on things that we talk about on the show or on the shows throughout the week. We have 3 different programs that we have on during the week for Erudition. Monday, my wife Tina is on with Adroit Living, where she is concerned with your psychological health and your ability to live a resourceful and adroit life. And then on Wednesdays, my sons are on. All of my sons, they're on Erudition Generations, and they do a program speaking to their peer group, but not just their peer group, also to give it, opinions and ideas and thoughts on what is going on in the world from their point of view. Those programs like that are rare, and I wanted them to be able to get out there and do that, and I'm glad that they have stayed consistent and faithful to doing that. And then on Thursdays, I do the Erudition Network Black History Interactive program, where we talk about Black history, issues and concerns about our history, how it relates to today, and uncovering things that we probably haven't been taught in school. Those things are presented on the Thursday program. And on Saturdays, we try to do a wrap up which I'm on right now, where we talk about these things and we give you an opportunity to ask questions about what you have seen or give opinions on what you would like to see on the Erudition Network. Saturday evenings these are a little bit more laid back and not given to just an hour. I only pretty much stay on for as long as I need to, or if I have my wife or my kids on, they can talk a little bit about what they have coming up and what they've done on their programs. If you have not watched the programs from this past week, I ask you to go and do so. Go look it up on YouTube. Search for the Erudition Network if you have never, if you are not a subscriber, and find us on the Black Erudition Network on Facebook. You will see the symbol for Erudition, and you will know you're in the right place. And if you don't know what that logo looks like, I have a version of it sitting right behind me on my wall. And I'm also trying to show it, but it won't let me. And so you'll see us. You'll see us. There it is. You see that logo that I just put up, and that'll show up, and you'll know that you're in the right place. I am going to turn my banner on here because um, sometimes I forget. If you are a person who enjoys what you see and what you're getting on the Erudition Network, and you want to help us in any kind of way as we further this, our goals to make this program a little bit more seen and more viral and out here, please feel free to donate. We have a Cash App that's at the Erudition Network. The monies that we receive goes to buying our mics, our cameras that I'm shooting on right now, the lights that are on the side that are lighting up my office area right here. We use those things to provide a better program for our viewers and those who watch the program, and also to create advertisement and to do things that we need to do. Shout out to Head Joe for a long time. I appreciate you joining us on the wrap up. This week, we had it was crazy because we had a lot of storms in this week for Erudition, where we would do our programs. And as a matter of fact, I didn't know if I would be able to get on and do the wrap up tonight because I thought we would run into a lot of weather and it would lag and it would cut us off. They had a lot of problems on Monday, early part of our program with similar things, but she persevered and still gave a very important program for those who watch every week. We try very hard to stay consistent and make sure that we're doing what we need to do to put the messages out here that we need to put out on these programs. So I appreciate her in doing that. Every program that we have on the network comes on at about 5 o'clock in the evening, except for the wrap up. We do that a little bit later, but each one of the programs come on at 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. And you could join us live when we do those programs and ask questions and opine, as I said earlier. But this week was interesting because even though we had every program on and everybody did what they had to do, we ran into those issues. We did, however, find, as we're learning this whole thing, a different way to provide quick access to the program. So you will start to see on a lot of programs that we're going to start going in and putting chapters throughout the hour program. The reason that we want to do this is because we want to make it easier for the viewers, our viewers, to be able to go in and watch the programs and see what parts that they want to look at, right? We put out a lot of information, and we want to make sure that when you're looking at this stuff, that you're getting it. You're getting it. This past week, I did the intro for a subject that I'm going to be talking about for the next few weeks, called the uneducable, and it was very deeply rooted in the history of how America treats and victimizes people of color by giving them stereotypes of uneducable or mentally retarded or emotionally deficient. And so I wanted that program, to be, but I also, because I wanted to make sure that even as I was doing it, it would be a lot of information, even with the intro. And so I wanted to make the program available, but I also wanted to make it so that you can go in and choose what it is that you wanted to see or be able to watch different chapters, right? You see a lot of creators on YouTube doing that, and we wanted to do that also so we can make it easier for you to follow and track what we're talking about. Tina was on the week before. She had, I believe, and she could correct me later, but she had 2 or 3 episodes that she put on about fish tanks and how to construct, choose, buy an efficient, economical fish tank. And that's a lot of information. And so, going through and trying to make sure that we make it as accessible for our audience as possible is something that we're doing now when we go on and we try to make these things happen. If you were to go, because I think we have one episode that I went in the other day and just did, and I'm going to show you because I want you to be able to understand this is kind of where we're going to be going, because it just makes it easier for us to make sure that we can share with you. And it also allows us to go and share snippets with folks on social media. So if you're one of the people who like to share our programs, but you know that they're an hour, but there is a part of it that you really liked and you want somebody to see, putting them in chapters allows us to be able to do that. So I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to show you in real time how we do this, and how, if you're not aware, everybody's not as savvy. So this is the Erudition Network YouTube channel that you can go to. We do a lot of lives. So like you see right now, it shows that I'm live right now. And we do a lot of live programs. But what you want to do is go onto here, click live, and you will see all of the live programs that we've done. You will also see the ones for the week, right? So if I were to go into the last one that I did, the uneducable, what we want you to be able to do is to see the program, but as I said, we want you to see the chapters. So if you click here, you will see that we have all of the chapters for that particular episode, right? For that particular offering. You will also see either on the side of your of it or down at the bottom that you can now see all of the episodes, chapters, and you can scroll through and click that particular chapter that you want to focus on, right? And go through the lessons at your own speed and own time, or the lives in your own speed and own time. And so that's a difference in the way we've done it in the past, and just an easier way that we want to offer you to be able to stick with us and learn and see what it is that we're doing. I see we don't have a lot of people on. I got several requests tonight to do the wrap up, so wanted to make sure we did that for you tonight. But as I said, I don't like to stay on too long with the wrap up. It's really just what it is. It's just a way for us to talk about what it is that we're focused on in the next over the past week and in the next week or so. It's just our way of giving you opportunity to see where we're going with this network. There is always something on Erudition, always something that we're offering you to learn. And the thing is, we want to make it a conversation. So that means that you can disagree. And I found myself telling someone this just yesterday. You can disagree. There is no problem in having a discussion and a debate, if need be, on what it is that is being presented, and us all learning together. I think that that's a huge part of what Erudition is trying to offer here, and I think it's something that we all should try to focus on and to do. So please feel free to get on, disagree with us, offer your own opinion, co-sign, any of those things. It is interactive. Um, because I think that that is something that a lot of people don't do, right? And we're going to respectfully um, disagree with you if you have something that you're bringing up. Because the only thing I always ask people is to make sure that it's factual as it can be. What is your source? Where did you get this from? Let's analyze it together. Let's see why it may or may not make sense, right? Um, and I think we all learn from that. So um, we enjoy it, and I hope that you are sharing the program with people in your family, in your friends, all of that. I hope that you are sharing this network because I do believe that we are doing something that needs to be done. And I want you to help us to grow it. These programs that we put on, it takes out of time, it takes money, it takes effort, but we enjoy them and we enjoy um, putting this information out here and getting things back from our community on how it is affecting others, how it is helping people, um, and letting them understand that they're not there by themselves, right? That is a huge part of this. And I greatly appreciate all of our viewers and subscribers right now. I think we're over 100. We have 106 subscribers. I would love for us to get higher than that. I'd like us to reach that 500 mark at least by the end of the summer. I don't think that that's saying too much and asking too much. We are trying to advertise and push more and do more things. And I think that it is highly feasible that we can get that done. But it requires people helping and sharing. If you can't um, help financially or do anything like the cash up you see down there, man, just sharing. Simply sharing or telling someone, hey, have you watched the Erudition Network on YouTube or on Facebook? Have you looked at their stuff that they put on Instagram or TikTok, if that's what you follow? We're trying to expand to all of those and provide information on all of the platforms that you see out here because we know that it is a dire time and we need to be doing this. If there is no, I'm not going to, as I said, I'm not going to stay on too long. If there are no questions, if there is no input, if everybody is okay and everything's going on great for your weekend, well, God, I ask that God bless you and keep you. I put out a thing yesterday. I'll say this because my show on Thursday, we got a lot of positive feedback about that program as we introduced the subject. And it was a deep subject because the idea of how we treat our children in schools and how we label them is so important. And it is affecting a whole generation of children. And we're seeing it, and we will see it even more as the summer goes on. And going through that initial introduction of the subject matter, I wanted to give as much history as I possibly could on the uneducable, as they called it, right? I wanted to give as much information on how we deal with our children, both in school and out of school, and how we inspire. And we got so much feedback. We even got feedback from people from overseas who watched the broadcast and had things to say about what they saw, what they heard in the beginning lessons. And I thank those who did that, who responded. But one of the issues that I have is that when we talk about learning disabled, uneducable stereotypes, I want you to get parents who, who have children and who have family members who have been put into these situations. Get them to watch this next few weeks as we unpack and pull away at this fallacy, this lie, right? And expose that the system of special education, right, was created for Black poor students, right? And that it is a design that happened from slavery all the way to where we are right now. And that a lot of it has nothing to do whatsoever with physical retardations and actual handicaps. It has to do with labels. When you label someone educable, mentally retarded, as they did in the early 1900s and into all the way up to the early 2000s, that has an impact. And even though we call them now learning disabled, right? And under that guise, we put emotional behavioral disordered. We need to understand what those things mean, right? Because we can't be imbricated. We cannot allow ourselves to be paragaric, to be numb to what is going on, because it is affecting our children. It is affecting us. And the idea of it is horrible. And until we understand, until we really get it, we're going to have these problems with our children, in our society, in our cultures. We're gonna have this. And I don't want to be on just babbling or prattling and telling you this. I want you to go out there and look at the information that we put out after the program. I on Facebook and on YouTube, I gave several books and places to go for you to be able to get on and read. I always try to give you a free place online to do it. I understand a lot of people don't like to read online or on their tablet or whatever, but I always try to give you a free place to go get it. If I can, I try to see if I can find it on Amazon or Barnes and Noble. But I ask you to go out and read so that you can be a confidant, a mentor, a helper to people who don't have the opportunity to understand what's going on. I gave a shout out for a book about the attempt to destroy young Black men, and in that book, there's a part of it where it's mentioned about a Black woman who goes to a school for her child. And when she gets there for this school meeting about her child's behavior, they have a psychologist, teacher, the principal, counselor, all sitting in this office with her child. And they tell her that her child has shown signs that he has a learning disability. And her feeling helpless and not knowing what to do. So she, being young and not knowing and unexperienced, she allows them to categorize her child. I think that we need to realize that this happens more than we talk about. And it's not saying that learning disabilities, some aren't real. But when you are, caught by surprise and don't know and are faced with this as a single mother or even as a family, and you don't know who to go to. You don't know what recourse do I have. This is why we have to educate ourselves and why we have to be smarter, and we have to do what we need to do with our families and our friends in order to do that. And I wanted to say that tonight because I don't want people to assume that what I'm saying is that some learning disabilities aren't real. Nobody's saying that. What I'm saying is that there is a disproportionate amount of Black men, particularly, being put into these programs, into these situations, and it is leading from a situation where they go from school to jail or the grave. And a lot of these labels are being put on these young men at 5 and 6 years old. At least someone in their family, church, community, or school helps them. They fall. And the entropy that is affecting our Black men, that is just destroying them, eating at them, it has a place and a beginning. And we need to establish that place in that beginning. We need to know that the dropout rates and the issues of people who feel like they're giving up, this has a history. This has a history. So I wanted to make sure that that was very clear as we go forward with this program over the next few weeks on the interactive Black History and Knowledge session. We definitely want to make sure that we share and get people talking about this. Again, I appreciate all of you who have been so supportive of us and helping us to stay on the ball. I think I will talk about one last thing, and then I'm going to get off of here. We'll be at 30 minutes, and I don't see any questions, and I don't hear anybody ask anything about the programs over the week. So like I said, I don't like to be on for an hour for this if I do not have to be. But I always try to open up the floor for us to entertain questions and thoughts and concerns during the weekend when everybody's home and more relaxed, and maybe an idea or a thought hits you. But one of the things I want to talk about lastly is if you have not seen it, it is on our Facebook page. I received a picture the other day from a NASA picture or a NASA affiliate. And I found it to be so interesting because this particular picture showed the galaxy. It showed, I'm gonna see if I can share it with you all real quick. And I have always been a huge fan of astronomy, a huge fan of the building of the universe. And as a person who has spent a lot of their life dealing and learning and teaching orbitology and universal truths and things in the science arena, I always am interested in it. And so when I saw this picture, and I'm sharing it with you right now, I was like, wow, this is such a great graphic that showcases life. And I sat down and I started to write out what this meant, how I saw this. And I'm going to very briefly, before we get off here tonight, ask you to go. If you follow us on Facebook, it is on our page. But I wanted to talk about this because a lot of times I'm a Christian, but a lot of us who are Christian and who are scientific minded or academically inclined to do a lot of reading and intellectual pursuits, we are often told that it's foolish for you to be a person of faith and a person with a scientific mind. And I've always fought back and pushed back on that because I find that to be ludicrous. And when I saw this, it made me think about the idea of Genesis. In Genesis, the Bible says in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And most of us, that's kind of where we stop. But the actual verses did say, now the earth was without form and it was void. Darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Now, as a kid, I always thought, well, what does waters? And then as I started to learn science, as I started to understand how things were formed, as I started to get an understanding of how the celestial dust clouds helped to form the universe, right? When I started to understand how water is made, and then Earth is 75 to 80% created water, how human beings are mostly water, and understanding the celestial understanding of God moving across the face of the deep and of the waters. Waters are important and light is important. And to make this very, because I want you to go back and read it and agree or disagree. Without light, things are cold. They're frozen. We know that the universe, when it was being formed, where there was no light, there were comets and asteroids and things and celestial clouds that were ice, where the molecules had formed together, where the carbon monoxide and hydrogen molecules formed, but they were frozen. But when we allow light in, they melt. Now, why is this important historically for me, and why I'm telling you this? I think that when we look at history, when we look at creation stories like the Bible, and we look at what people wrote, we have to think about the fact that they were not Galileo, they were not Copernicus. They were people who wrote what they understood, who wrote what they were inspired to write by God. And so when you look at this graphic and you see the expansion, the afterglow, you see the development of galaxies and planets and the expansion of dark energy and how light, you understand that the calling of light, let there be light, is not just a quick story or word. Light created time, space, dimension, galaxies, planets. Light allowed the earth to become from formless to formed. The waters that God moved across, as they said in Genesis, helped to form, merge with the mantle as things melted and they coalesced to what created this planet. And that's why we have so much water. Now, that's scientific fact, proof. But I say this also because as we go through history on the Erudition Network, a lot of times we are presented very simplistic things, or what we consider to be very simplistic words that have a much deeper meaning as we go into the study of it. We have the benefit of thousands of years of information to allow us to grow and have a better understanding than the people did back thousands of years ago. And we need to be better about how we represent those facts and always follow the fact. Rather it be the science, rather it be the history, rather it be the first person account or the secondary account. We always have to make sure it's valid. I love the idea of looking at this because this shows you quantum fluctuations. It shows you time, space. It shows you development in a scientific and historical way, and then it allows you to align it with the Bible. And I would even tell you that whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, whether you're Buddhist, when you look at a lot of these creation, or they call them myths or creation stories, you will find that almost all of them agree with the idea of light. Go back, get on there, read my article that I put on the Erudition Network's Facebook page. Comment on it. Bring your questions, concerns, disagreements. Maybe you feel like I didn't get something right. I welcome it, and we'll discuss that. All right. I have been on here for 35 minutes. I wasn't going to be on here that long. And like I said, I try not to be. If there are no questions, I don't know who I see. Sean Anthony is on. The 4 people that StreamYard is allowing me to see that's on. If there's nobody who's on, because I know a lot of people, they get to watch games and things. I don't watch basketball, so it doesn't really concern me. But hey, stick with us. Join Tina on Monday. We'll be back next week, God willing, and we will have a whole nother week of Erudition Network shows and information out here for you all. Support us, like, share, click the bell button, whatever, and allow us to be able to be in your homes to talk to you and to give you some of the things that we've learned, and you give us what it is that you've learned, and we will grow as a community from there. All right, everybody. I'm going to get on out of here. I thank you. Again. And as I said, let's learn together. Let's help each other. We'll be better served for it. All right. Well, like I said, I don't see anything out here, so I'm going to get on off of here, and we'll see you all next week. Have a good one.